Hey truck drivers, I met a lot of you guys over the last 35 years working in the steel industry. And almost every truck driver I've ever met knows that our country's going in the wrong direction, and that this direction is putting our families at risk. But that's a risk I'm not willing to take, and I hope you aren't either. So I think it's time we start to work together to make some changes. But first, a brief introduction. My name's Randy Beardsley. I have a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and a master's degree in business. And like many of you, I'm a veteran. I spent the last 35 years working hard to support my family. I'm no politician. I've held real jobs with real responsibilities my whole life. I understand how things work and what it takes to be successful, and I recognized several years back that our country wasn't working right anymore. It was broken. And although I'm just a regular working American like you, I couldn't be silent anymore, and I began to speak out on behalf of all our futures. But even though these failures are obvious to us, they still tell us every night on TV that we're winning. And I competed a lot in my day, and this, my friends, is losing. You and your family are losing everywhere you turn. Lost jobs, lost rights, lost safety, lost opportunity. Now, thank goodness for America, most truck drivers haven't been fooled by these lies. But many people, they have failed to recognize the disastrous path that they've set our country on. These people haven't recognized this failure because they're still relying on the media as their source of information. But using the media, a group without allegiance to your future, is a bad plan. Because the media only praises people and promotes policies that are bad for your future. And they only demonize people and discredit policies that are good for your future. And they love to fool you into thinking that you have a real choice between our two political parties. But the only choices you get are bad candidates and bad solutions. And when you only get to pick from those, you get policies like the selling off of our jobs to the highest foreign bidder that's cost us 6 million jobs over the last 30 years. And this loss of jobs has created an almost $1 trillion trade deficit that has us beholden to foreign countries for life's basic needs. Policies that have destroyed so many opportunities in our country that we have to spend over $1 trillion a year on welfare just to keep people barely surviving at the poverty line. Policies that have allowed almost 50 million migrants into our country over the last 50 years. Millions of them illegally. And our government rewards them with better benefits upon their arrival than it provides you at retirement after you've worked your whole life. Soft on crime policies that expose your family to 1 million violent crimes and 7 million property crimes a year. An endless war for profit schemes that have killed and maimed millions of Americans and wasted trillions of dollars that should have been invested in our future. Reckless spending to hide these failures that have destroyed our future and saddled our children with a $34 trillion mountain of debt. This is losing. And if you're tired of losing like I am, then it's time for a better way. And that better way is the Beardsley Doctrine. My doctrine brings the curtain down on all these failures in one of their best tricks. The trick that fools so many Americans, even many of our truck drivers, to think that we can't do anything about it. But we can do something. We can fix these problems, and your help will make the difference. Because truck drivers are the lifeblood of our economy. Everything in our country is based on you and your friends delivering life's necessities. If your truck stops, so does everything else. So think about this. We have about 3 million truck drivers in our country. If we were to get all 3 million truck drivers working together, we could accomplish anything that we set our minds to. If we set our minds to closing the border, done. Defunding the companies that are trying to defund our families, done. Ending these endless war for profit schemes that have harmed so many of us, done. And my doctrine is the plan that brings us together to create the outcomes that our families deserve. The doctrine itself exposes and rejects the policies that are jeopardizing our families' futures. And it outlines what needs done to protect our families and save our country. Take a look at each individual article. I think you'll agree it's the right path forward. The American Death March series and the 50 Years of Failure series will give you a better understanding of the failed results of these policies. Now, they were slowly and methodically implemented while you were busy working and taking care of your family. These two series will make it clear to you why using the media as your source of information is a bad plan. And when you're done watching these, you'll understand why continuing on the current path just isn't an option. And the press plan provides the strategy, the how we implement these solutions by showing you the specific actions you can do to help yourself and your family. All these components of the doctrine, they work together to put your family first. And the best part, your participation doesn't require you to quit your job or ride in the streets. And since every person and every company in America is dependent upon our truck drivers to survive, you do have a special role in helping us fix these problems. But implementing the policies of the doctrine, it won't be easy, because our enemies have amassed so much wealth from our country and from other countries from their war for profit schemes that they've been able to buy up all our politicians, all our media, and to raise an army of enforcers to make sure you continue on this death march. And they want to enlist you as one of their enforcers also. Enforcers are people who support these failed policies or use their position and power to trick or coerce other Americans to support them. You may have been fooled by the media to support these destructive policies, or to use your trucker money to support the companies and organizations that promote them. But when you know the truth, you and your family won't want to be an enforcer anymore. And the press plan will help you stop being an enforcer by guiding you through all the ways where you may be acting as one and didn't even know it. Now, some people haven't been fooled into being an enforcer. They made a conscious choice to become one. Like Judas, they made a deal with the devil. They agreed to promote these failed policies for a bag of gold. And I think it's pretty clear that Congress and a lot of people in leadership positions have made that deal. But if you made that deal with the devil, or you know someone who has, the doctrine, and especially the American Death March series, will change your mind. But Judas realized too late, but it's not too late for you or someone you know to reconsider. And although they haven't been very successful at fooling a lot of our truck drivers to support these failed plans or convincing them to make a deal with the devil, they have been successful at coercing some of the larger trucking companies to support them. So if you work for one of these companies, your labor is helping to undermine your future. And even if you're an independent, you still may have to use your truck to pick up and deliver goods for companies and organizations that don't have an allegiance to your family or a country. In a perfect world, you just quit and get another job at a different company or just refuse certain pickups. But it isn't always that easy when you have to feed your family. So if you or someone you know are being coerced to act as an enforcer because you have to work, don't worry. Because you can still do your part by implementing the press plan when you aren't at work. The press plan will help you work towards independence till the time comes where you can fully cast off the role of an enforcer. If you're not at my website, beardsley.doctrine.com, go there now. Take a look around at the components of the doctrine to see how you can use them, starting today, to make a difference. Start staying up to date on the plan to save our future by following me on X. And pass this on to your fellow truck drivers so we can assemble the 3 million strong army of truckers that we'll need to create the future that our family and our country deserves. Now remember the song we sang as kids, "The wheels on the bus go round and round"? Well, the wheels on the truck go round and round also. But they don't have to. Because the day will come when defending our families and our freedom and stopping this death march will be more important than keeping those wheels turning. Let's work together so you know when that day is.